going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here to talk to you about the first episode of a new Star Wars series on Disney Plus, Star Wars: The Bad Batch. This episode is called Aftermath. This features a group of clone troopers who are different and unique. They each have specialized abilities that were kind of created in them when they were first created, and as such, their personalities are a little bit unique. They are not like all the other clone troopers, and this story starts right when Order 66 is announced in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, and we get to see these clones kind of reacting to that and see how they are going to adapt as the Republic that they have been serving for their entire lives becomes the Empire. How are they going to deal with all of this? And I should point out, apparently the Bad Batch characters appeared in an episode of the Dave Filoni Clone Wars series. I have never seen any of that series, so I don't know very much about these characters outside of what we are told in this episode. You might say, well, you should go and watch all 7 seasons of the Clone Wars so that you can get the proper context of what's going on with these characters in this time period. And to that I say, the Star Wars movies were way out of order. You have 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8, 9. So there is no correct way to watch Star Wars. And I was thinking, if this episode knows what it's doing, then it is going to be able to hold the hand of someone like me who hasn't watched any of the Clone Wars, but it will still be able to fill me in on what's going on. And I will say, having not seen any of the Dave Filoni Clone Wars series, I think this did a pretty good job of introducing us to these characters. I am guessing that they will be fleshed out a little bit more as the series goes along, but this does a pretty decent job of establishing a baseline personality for most of our characters. I would say, if you have never seen anything Star Wars, which if you haven't, I doubt that you're watching this video, but if you've never seen Revenge of the Sith, you should probably watch it. I think that this would make a little bit more sense to you if you had seen Revenge of the Sith. This does do a pretty good job of explaining what is going on in Revenge of the Sith, as most of this happens during that, but I think that you might understand a little bit better if you had already seen Revenge of the Sith. But did this do a good enough job to make me want to keep watching this series? And the answer to that is, I don't know. A lot of these characters, they are kind of archetypes, and then there's not much more beyond that. You have the leader, who's basically Rambo. He looks a lot like Rambo. Then you've got the smart guy. You've got the big idiot dumb guy. You've got a guy who looks like Lobot. And then you have the sharpshooter guy. And then they go back to Kamino after the Clone Wars are announced to be done. And then they meet this other clone girl who is also a specialized clone. And we don't really know why she was created. And she is quite a bit younger than all the others. Also, I don't know who she was cloned from. Because all of the clones in this series were cloned from Jango Fett. And I don't know if this is an X-23 Wolverine situation where she was also cloned from Jango Fett. I don't know. Or was she cloned from someone else who's not important? But anyway, she's here, and then this story is basically these guys trying to decide, are we okay with the direction that this new empire is going in? Are we going to continue following orders even when it's very clear that there's something shady going on, or are we going to break ranks and kind of do our own thing? And I won't spoil anything, but I feel like pretty early on in this episode, it was pretty clear to me, okay, this is what's going to happen to this character, this is what's going to happen to this character, etc. And so there is some question of, wait, why is this happening to this character, and why is this not happening to all of these other characters? If you have seen the Dave Filoni Clone Wars series, you know a little bit about the clones and their reaction to Order 66. That is information that you would not have if you've only seen the Star Wars prequels. And I have not seen the Clone Wars series, but I was aware that there is something more going on there that was provided in the Dave Filoni series. But that is kind of present here. They touch on it a little bit, but then I was asking myself, okay, why is this happening in a certain way for some of these characters and not for all of the characters? Maybe I've spoiled a little too much there. I'm trying to stay relatively spoiler-free. Here is a minor spoiler that I don't think is a big deal. We get to see Kanan from Star Wars Rebels when he is still a Padawan, and we get to see what he was doing during the Clone Wars, and specifically right as Order 66 Universe. And this is a weird thing where when Disney announced that they were purchasing Lucasfilms and Star Wars, and they were going to be trashing the expanded universe and creating a new expanded universe, I didn't really care because I didn't have much attachment to the old expanded universe. But then you have Disney creating a brand new expanded universe, and it hasn't even been 10 years that this new expanded universe has been going on. Probably more like 8 or 7 years since they started doing the expanded universe comics, and now they're already stepping on their own toes, and you've got contradictory stuff within the same expanded universe. In the last Padawan comic book series that shows a little bit of what Kanan was doing in between Order 66 and the Star Wars Rebels series, we see where he was when Order 66 started. It's a different planet than what we see here. We see here is basically the same situation, where his master tells him to run, and he runs. But in the last Padawan series, it was kind of a desert world. Here, he's on a snow planet, and I looked it up. It's two very similar sounding names for these planets, but they are not the same planet. And in the last Padawan series, we had two particular clone troopers who were constantly chasing after Kanan and trying to find him. Here, we don't see any indication of that, but we do see the Bad Batch interacting with Kanan a little bit, and we didn't see them anywhere in the last Padawan series. And this is one of those things, it doesn't bother me too much. I liked the last Padawan series. I thought it was pretty good. And so if you are a big, huge Star Wars fan and you want to try and make a timeline and make it all fit, this is probably going to give you a little bit of a headache. This didn't have to be Kanan and his master. This could have been any Jedi duo. And maybe they were thinking, well, people like Rebels, people like Kanan, so we want to reference him here a little bit. But you've already done that in a comic book, and it would have taken 3 seconds of Googling to find out, oh, Kanan was on another planet in a canonical comic book when Order 66 was happening. That doesn't bother me too much, but I can see how it would bother some people. And it is a little frustrating when they can't even keep up with their own brand new expanded universe after trashing the old one. This is going to create more problems later on, I'm almost certain of it. But this was okay. I would have liked to have had a little bit more development of these characters, other than this guy is a really good sharpshooter, this guy is the smart one, this guy is leader guy. I would have liked a little bit more development than that. These guys are all pretty much archetypes, but I assume we are going to get to see more of them develop into their own people as this series progresses. I don't know if I'm going to keep watching it. It depends on how busy I am, probably. I thought this was fine. If you are a huge fan of the clones, I've never been just a gigantic fan of the clone characters in Star Wars, but if you like them more than I do, you're probably going to like this story more than I did. I thought it was okay, but it's not something I necessarily needed to have, I guess I should say. So that's about it for Star Wars The Bad Batch, the first episode, Aftermath. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, I will see you guys in the future with some more videos. In the meantime, have a great rest of your day. Catch you later.